The first thing I wanted to talk about is that, as I mentioned earlier, when I just graduated college, I had no idea about PR whatsoever. The only thing that I remember is that PR is probably about writing press releases. And I believe that students who are watching this right now might think exactly the same way. Could you elaborate about the PR a little bit more for people who doesn't really understand, especially considering the fact that your work with Black Scottish community has pretty much opened the door for you in PR?
Yeah, so I believe that PR can be said, it can be defined as it's public relations, how you relate with the public and how you would want the public to perceive you in maybe whatever business or organization or project or anything that you want to do. So it could be like an individual public relations or an organization's public relations. So PR is not just about statistics, or it's more about trying to tell a story and helping people perceive you in the way that you want to be seen most of the time.
That's wonderful. And could you share one of those stories from your previous projects or previous work that sort of went really, really well just because you understood the community behind it?
Okay. There was this story I wrote about a couple. They run a charity in Glasgow, and the woman was so impressed about how I wrote the story because I actually wrote it in a way that projected them and the way that they wanted to be seen. So people always resonate with stories instead of statistics,
Definitely.
So when you give numbers, they get bored easily. But when you tell a story, you rope them in. And the way I wrote the story, I highlighted the fact that her husband likes to walk behind the scenes, and she is usually the face of the brand. And it wasn't written anywhere in their website or anything. So it does show that I did my research. So when you're doing things like that and you're working with your clients and you show them something, you show that you've done your homework. It makes them want to come back to you over and over again. And right now, I've never met her before. I've not even met her up to now. But we talk regularly and she gives me feedback on my work. And she also sends me opportunities, And that's just because I wrote a story very well.
Wow, that's a wonderful story. Thank you for sharing it with us today.
Welcome.
And I also wanted to know, for example, let's say a student wants to get into PR, but what would you advise them to understand about the timings, the relationships, the audience that sort of might influence their decision about how they should approach the PR?
Okay, so if you are able to ask yourself questions like, why am I doing this? The why is very important. It helps strengthen your message. You ask why you're doing this. Who exactly are you wanting to reach out to? And why should they care? If you ask yourself these three questions and you're able to answer them in detail and truthfully, it will make your message stronger when you're pitching. Yeah.
And could you share maybe some personal experience from that as well, if you have something?
Okay, so Black Scottish Stories always spotlights people every week from the Black community. So when we normally send out emails, so in that email, I make sure that they know that Spotlight is free. I also make sure that I let them know why we're doing this. We let them know that it's because we want to show the contribution of Black immigrants living in Scotland, and I also let them know the reason behind my passion for it and why I want to do this. And I make it all about them.
I see.
I make it all about them. So when you make all of these things about them and not about your organization or your project or not about you, you make it about the people that you're trying to reach. It makes it easier.
Definitely.
And so from last year, I started the Spotlight since last year till date. We've done about 52 or 53 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yes, and we're still continuing.